was mentioned, people think of this. People tend to only think about the violence and destruction of property that happen in war. People rarely ever think about the negative mental health consequences that happen.
However, there's a lot more than what we just see. There's a lot of factors in the military workplace itself that affect soldiers in the front line and the rear line with PTSD. PTSD affects these soldiers not only because of the violence, but also because of how military treats them while they're working.
PTSD in military personnel is one of the biggest negative effects of war. It affects nearly 55% of those involved in some sort of way. People join the military for many various reasons. A lot of people join for the financial security and the ability to pay for school. People that join for these financial reasons would be considered to have bureaucratic orientation work. A lot of people also join in order to protect their country and fight for freedom. These people would be considered to have a solidaristic orientation work. People with a bureaucratic orientation work would be considered more vulnerable to PTSD as they are not as mentally prepared for the negative effects that occur in war.
These soldiers in the rear line suffer from alienation and meaninglessness in the workplace because they think that they're just sitting behind a cubicle and not doing much for their country. They think their contribution is not any better than the ones in the front line. This is the reason they suffer from PTSD, because even though it's not a specific event that leads to their stress, the general working conditions in the whole military workplace is what contributes to the PTSD in really negative ways.
Sex stereotypes can also make military personnel a major cause for PTSD. It can be pulled from three aspects. First one is imbalance of the sexes in military. Only 40.5% of total force is female. Second one is sexual assault. Many perpetrators of assault can make their victims keep silence. Most Western services have historically been delivered for men. The last one is gender discrimination. Women are more subjected to work military jobs behind the scenes.
Post-traumatic stress disorder is a disorder that affects thousands of veterans every day. Unfortunately, many of these veterans turn to negative coping mechanisms to deal with their symptoms. These coping mechanisms include avoiding human contact, also avoiding reminders of the trauma suffered, displaying angry or violent behavior, and typically many of these soldiers turn to substance abuse. These individuals have to remember that there are many positive ways to cope with PTSD. Some of these positive coping mechanisms include staying in close contact with friends and family and doing the research about the disorder. If this is all done, the recovery process will be a healthy one, and many of these soldiers will be able to deal with their PTSD.
Even though there are many different factors that contribute to PTSD and make it such a horrible disorder to deal with, we now know that it is possible to overcome it. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We hope you have learned a little bit about post-traumatic stress disorder.